Good morning, one and all. This is Udeshri, working as assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering of St. Peter's Engineering College. In today's class, let us discuss about the topics of Unit 4 from CAD/CAM. Okay. So before going into the subject, let us look at the syllabus. So the first part of Unit 4 consists of the part families, part classification and coding, production flow analysis, and mission cell design. Next is computer-aided process planning. Here, in case of computer-aided process planning, we learn about the methods of writing a process sheet and what is the difficulties that we are facing with the traditional process planning. So that is the thing which is mentioned here. Difficulties in traditional process planning. What is computer-aided process planning? What are the different ways in which we write the process sheet with the help of computers? So here you have two types, the retrieval type and generative type. And we have another method also that is called as hybrid type. Next one is the missionability data systems. So this is the second part of Unit 4. So next one is computer-aided manufacturing resource planning. Here we'll learn about the material resource planning, inputs to MRP. See, here we have two types of MRP, material resource planning and manufacturing resource planning. So here what happens is in material resource planning, we call it as MRP1, and manufacturing resource planning, we call it as manufacturing requirement planning, we call it as MRP2. So here we are going to learn about the inputs and outputs of MRP, the benefits of MRP, enterprise resource planning and capacity resource planning. Enterprise resource planning, we call it as ERP, and capacity resource planning, we call it as CRP. So here in today's class, let us first start our discussion with group technology. So group technology is where we classify the parts into different part families and accordingly we will make the manufacture. So here, see, part families is a part of group technology. So what happens is the part families and group technologies definition looks almost similar. But here the thing is, the group technology will include the separation of parts and also classifying into different, giving different codes for the components. So all these things will, designing of mission cells. So all these things will come under the group technology. But part families is just a classification. So we can say that part families is the subset of group technology. Okay. So now let us look at the definition of group technology. Group technology is an approach in which similar parts are identified and grouped together in order to take advantage of similarities in design and production. Similarities among parts permit them to classify it into part families. So here what happens is based upon its design, based upon the material, based upon the type, based upon the manufacturing process. So we have different things but that we take into consideration while classifying the parts. So here are some things that they have mentioned based upon the engineering in the sense the way they have designed it, based upon the manufacturing, it means how it is getting manufactured, based upon the process plan, means the sequence of operations. So considering all these things, we are dividing the part into part family. So what is part family? Part family is, see, this is the part family. Part family is here we classify the component based on shape, size and manufacturing process. We just divide the components into different sets. So let us look at the definition. A part family is the collection of parts that are similar either because of geometric shape and size or because similar processing steps are required in their manufacturing. The parts within a family are different, but the similarities are close enough to merit their inclusion as a members of part family. See, for example, if you have some cylindrical components, we make all these cylindrical components as one family. We make all square parts as one family, all rectangular parts as one family. So like this, they're different, means based upon this shape, that is based on shape. So if you look at the based on different types of operation, say if you have a n number of missions, say in a section you have mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, mission 4, mission 5, like this you have up to mission 10. Okay, so if you have a component 1 which goes through mission 1, mission 3, mission 5 and mission 7, and assume you have another component which goes through mission 1, 3, 5, 9, 10. So like this, see, both the things don't have similar process, but the thing is, when you're arranging the mission, these components are not spoiling the sequence. It is going in the order where the missions are. It's up to, it may or may not utilize that particular machine. If it is, see, for example, if you're taking some component and you don't need the operation on machine 3, so it will go directly to machine 4 or machine 5. So it may be skipping the sequence, but it is not spoiling the sequence. So that is called a classification based upon its process of operations. So this is how we classify various part families. So here, if you look at this figure, this is one way of classifying the parts. So see, in the first figure, they have classified based upon its shape. The first figure is based on different types of prismatic parts, and the second figure is different types of rotational parts. So if you look at this figure, so this is the prismatic and this is the rotational part. Okay, so this is how we classify it. So just by looking at the figure and classifying it, this method is called as a visual method. So what we are seeing here is a visual method of inspection. Visual method in the sense we are just looking at its shape. So all prismatic, all rotational. So like this, looking at the shape and classifying is called as a visual method of inspection. So here we have different ways. Visual way is one of the way, but we have different methods of classifying that we'll see in the coming up slide. So next one is in machine cell. So here what happens is the machine group of machines are used to process a part family. So you have different machines. Okay, in a machine group technology layout. So this design of group technology layout is called as a mission cell design. So how do we design this group technology layout? So if you look at this layout, okay, so this is a layout which we take as reference. So here what happens is, see, we have discussed in the previous slide that we classify the components based upon the size, shape and machining operations. So let us assume that we have a set of family which goes through some sequence of operations. So here what happens is, see, in the figure it is mentioned as cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. Assume that cell 1 is where you are going to make the machining operation of part family 1. Cell 2 is where you are going to make machining operation of part family 2. Similarly, cell 3 is the is an area where you are going to make the machining of part family 3. So like this, you have different cells. So the components which belongs to part 1 will go to cell 1. The components which belong to part 2 will go to cell 2. The components which belong to part 3 will go to cell 3. So like this, it will perform some machining operations. So once the machining operation is done, all the components will come to the assembly area and it will go for the shipping. So here what happens is, as you're classifying the components into different part families, and as these components are going through a similar type of machining process, here it is saving the time and also the money. So in order to reduce this lead time, so as a result the lead time will decrease. So whenever you want to reduce the time and save the money, and wherever you want to make an easy process, in such cases we go for this type of layout, and this layout is called as a group technology layout. Next one is part classification and coding. So now we have different methods of classifying a part. So here the first one is the visual inspection method, classification and coding method, and production flow analysis. Now let us look at this. See, I have already told you that visual inspection method is where we look at the component and we say to which part family does this component belong to. If you're just looking and saying something is visual inspection. So now if you look at the slide, okay, here you have some components before grouping. So they have made some groups. So here you have all triangular, here you have all rectangular, here you have all circular, here you have some polygonal. So like this, you have different groupings based upon its shape and size. So this type of parting or this type of grouping is called as the visual inspection method. Next one is a production flow analysis. Production flow analysis is where, see, I have given you some examples. See, you have a sequence of operation M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6. You have some machines. Okay, you have, see, here they have given some example M1, M2, M3, M4. Okay, here you have some component 2 which goes to machine 1 and machine 2. There is some component 4 which goes to machine 1 and machine 2. So similarly, you have some component 1 which goes to machine 3 and machine 4. So you see, mission 2 and mission 1 don't have similar operations, but the thing is, it is following the sequence of missions. So M1, M2, M3, M4, it is not spoiling the sequence. So whatever the mission it wants, it is going to that mission, and then it is going to the another mission, but it is not spoiling the sequence. So like this, whatever the missioning operations, it may see if you have a sequence of mission, the component need not to go to every mission. But the thing is, whatever the operations it is performing, it should go in that sequence. It means after 1 it can go to 4, after 4 it can go to 8, after 8 it can go to 10. But it is not mandatory that it should go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 like this. Okay. So like this, if it is getting some similar operations, then we call it as production flow analysis. Next one is part classification and coding. So every part will get some code. Okay, that coding is based upon its design or its manufacturing attributes. So here you see most of the classification and coding systems are one of the following: system based upon the part design attributes, part manufacturing attributes, system based on both design and manufacturing attributes. It means what are the things which are part of its design, what are the things which are parts of its manufacturing. So when you are designing something, we consider few things. So those things are listed here. First thing is the major dimensions. Major dimensions in the sense its length, its diameter. So like this, whatever the external things you have, those things will come into picture. So that is called a major dimension. So based upon this major dimension only, we'll decide the part, um, means the requirement of raw materials, the size of raw material. Okay, next one is basic external shape. What shape you have, whether it is cylindrical shape, whether it is square shape, whether it is a rectangular shape. So based upon the shape, we decide the size of the raw material and shape of the raw material. Next is basic internal shape, whether you have some holes or slots or what internal things you have, whether you have internal threading. So what are the internal things that you have, that thing we take into consideration. Next one is the L by D ratio. L in the sense length, D is the diameter. So what is the length of the component, what is its diameter? So that will be taken into picture in case of cylindrical components. Similarly, the material, what type of material you are using, whether it is an aluminum, steel, copper, what type of component you are going to make, with which material you are going to make this component. Next one is part function. What is the function of this particular component which you are manufacturing? Okay, see for example, if you are taking washer is to avoid the leakages. So like this, every component will have some specific work. So what is the function of this component which you are manufacturing? Next one is tolerances. Tolerance in the sense it is some permissible limit which you are giving. It means you have some limit called upper limit and lower limit. The difference between the upper limit and lower limit is called as tolerance. So the purpose of giving this tolerance is, see for example, if you want to manufacture some component of 100 length, it is not possible to make a component of exact 100 length. In such cases, we'll give some tolerance. Tolerance in the sense you can increase its length or decrease its length by this many So that is the tolerance. So what is the tolerance that you're specifying on this component? Next is what is the surface finish that you require? It means whether you need a smooth surface or whether it can be a little rough surface. So what type of surface finish you want? So all these things will come under the design attributes. Next one is the manufacturing attributes. Manufacturing attributes in the sense, what is the major process? Major process in the sense it can be drilling, milling. What is the major operation you are performing? Next is the operation sequence. Which machine will come first? Which machine will come next? So that is operation sequence. Next one is the batch size. It means how many components you want to manufacture per batch. So that will come under the batch size. Next one is the annual production. How many components you want to produce per annum? That will come under the annual production. Next one is machine tool. Machine tool is the machine which you are using, that can be drilling, milling, grinding, broaching. So whatever the machine you are using, that machine will come under the machine tool. Okay. Cutting tool is it can be a single point cutting tool, multi-point cutting tool, drilling tool, tapping tool, whatever the tool you are using. So that comes under the cutting tool. Next one is material type. What is the material that you are going to machine? So all these things we consider as the manufacturing attributes. So while giving the code, we see what are the design attributes, what are the manufacturing attributes, and sometimes we consider both the design and manufacturing attributes. See, if your company is a manufacturing industry, we'll consider both the design and manufacturing. But if it is just a designing company, while giving the code to that particular component, they consider only the design attributes. So like this, we consider the design and manufacturing attributes for writing the code. So here we have three different types of codes. First one is a monocode, next one is a polycode, next one is the hybrid code. So let us look at all these codes. First one is a monocode. Monocode, we also call it as a hierarchical structure. So here, in case of monocode, there will be a logical relationship between one element to another element. See, for example, here they got some project, and in this project, they have some mechanical, hydraulic, and electrical components. So these mechanical components are again two types, rotational and prismatic. And electrical components are power, transmission, and receiving components. So like this, there is some division. Let us take some other example. See, there is some student who belongs to St. Peter's Engineering College, okay, a fourth year A section, okay. So now, if you want to give some monocode to the student, so here what we do is, we say these students belongs to St. Peter's Engineering College. Again, we have some classification, whether he belongs to EC, mechanical, EEE, CSC, IT. So to which department does he belongs to? I assume he belongs to mechanical department. So chalo. Now we'll pick the mechanical department. In mechanical department, again we have 4 years, first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Now he belongs to fourth year. In fourth year, again you have two sections, A section, B section. He belongs to A section. So in the A section, you have two different types of students. Students who joined in the first year through MSET counseling, students who joined in the second year through ESET counseling. So okay, he belongs to a regular student. It means who joined in the first year. So here also again you have n number of students who joined in the first year. So here again we'll give classification based upon the name of the student. They will take the first letter. If both the students are having the first letter as same, we'll take the second letter. So in this way we'll give the roll numbers. So like this is a monocode where it represents everything, the logic from first to next till the last. So this type of logical coding where there is an interlink between the previous one and the present one. This type of linking is called as a monocode. Next one is polycode. So here in polycode, there is no logical relationship or no connectivity between one code and the next code. See, if you look at the 9 digits here, the first digit will show you, will speak about the material. Second digit will speak about the material shape. The third will speak about the L by D ratio. Fourth will speak about machining. Next about additional holes, major dimensions, minor dimensions, tolerance, surface finish. So like this, every digit got its individuality. It is not getting linked with some other thing. So this is called as a polycode. Okay. So next one is a hybrid code. In case of hybrid code, we use both monocode and polycode. We combine both, and if we are writing a code, then such type of code is called as a hybrid code. So here is some coding system which is called as a Octis coding system. In case of Octis coding system, you have 1 to 9 numericals and 4 alphabets. Okay. So here the first 4 first 5 digits will make a form code. Form code in the sense it will speak about the geometry and the design of that particular part. And next is a supplementary code, and supplementary code is called as a polycode, which will speak about the manufacturing process. Okay. Next is a secondary code which speaks about the sequence of operations. So based on this, we'll write means based on the component which you are getting, we'll write the code. So in order to write the code, you will be having some chart like this, and we'll pick the digits from this chart and we'll write the code. So mostly at the BTech level, what we write is we write a 5-digit code, that is a Octis code based on the design attribute. So here, see for example, if it will ask you, see the first digit will tell you about the part classification. So here in part classification, you have to say whether it is a rotational part or non-rotational part. If it is a rotational part, we speak about the L by D ratio. So if it is less than 0.5, then the digit is 0. If it is between 0 to 3, then the digit is 1. If the digit is greater than 3, then the digit is 2. So if you have some component where L by D ratio is between 0.5 to 3, then we give digit as 1. So like this, whatever the thing that is required, that is mentioned at the top, and what is the digit that you have to give will be mentioned in this number, in this chat, like this. So based on this, you have to pick the digits. Okay, so this is about the Optis coding system. So this is about the group technology. We have discussed all the topics of group technology. Let me show you the syllabus. First one is the part families. Part classification, it means on what basis do we classify the parts and how do we write the code, what is production flow analysis, and what is mission cell design. So we have learned all these things in group technology. In the next class we learn about computer aided process plan. That's about today's class.